Hello, Harmony Central. It's time for the Day 2 highlights. We have Matt Snaremark, we have John Chappelle, we have Phil O'Keefe, we have me, your host Craig Anderton, and we have time constraints, so we're going to keep this short. Sonovox Big Bang, Hans Zimmer in a Box software. It's very cool. You can get all those percussion orchestral type things. I loved it. F Expansion Geist. It's their successor to Guru for all you Beat fans. It's really a wonderful little thing. It's hard to get excited about a pop filter, but Jay-Z Mike's had a pop filter where they had a compressed air gun on one side, a piece of paper on the other, and it didn't move. That was pretty impressive. A couple other things. iPad stuff continues to be huge. The PreSonus iPad controller for their Studio Live mixer. Love that one. A company called Way Outwear. They make soft synths. They have a new instrument called SynthX, which is a beautifully expressive instrument you can play on an iPad, and you can stick it in that SynthStation 49 we talked about yesterday from Akai. Phil's going to mention the M-Audio WNAMM, which is pretty cool. And then finally, I was able to get some really pretty neat videos of Line 6 of the DT50 and the James Tyler Variax. So if you're not really up to speed on those products, they're nice 10-minute videos. And a bonus video of Marcus Ryle laying a groove down with a Rock Band controller and a MIDI interface. So that was my day. And of course, the hall crawl with Mats and Hall E, which was a lot of fun. So Phil, your turn.
Well, I guess the first thing that I saw that really knocked me out was the Meleco E919, the Echo 919 delay, which just, they've been waiting on this for about 2.5 years. It's finally here. It's amazing. Analog, 1 second of delay, $300 list price. Really a killer delay pedal. Just came back from the Strymon demonstration. Got to see their new Timeline as well as the new Lex, which is a rotary speaker simulator, both of which sound incredible. Lots and lots of features. Also was highly impressed with the new Avid WNAMM synth. 49 keys, $599 list, $499 map. Believe it's what, 3 voice, virtual analog, real 12 voice, excuse me, 3 oscillators per voice, virtual analog, real edgy, real aggressive sounds, huge wavetable on it, sounds killer. John?
Great. Thanks, Phil. We continued our artist coverage today, and we got quite lucky. We saw perhaps the tastiest guitar on the planet, the tastiest guitarist on the planet, Don Felder of the Eagles. You remember his breaks from Hotel California in one of these nights. He has a Gibson Les Paul signature. They modeled it after his original 59 Les Paul. It was just killer. We saw the Alex Lifeson signature model as well. And then from Don Felder to another kind of music, we interviewed Troy Sanders of Mastodon, the bass player from Mastodon, and that was a lot of fun. And we stopped by the Marshall booth. They're in sort of a new distribution deal, so it's kind of a new future for them. We saw some great stuff. We saw the Slash AFD, which stands for Appetite for Destruction, his amp, as well as a really nice signature amp from Yngwie Malmsteen, the YJM. Really kind of clever use of power that way. We stopped by the PRS booth and saw 311 guitarist Tim Mahoney, and that was kind of neat because he had a really retro look on one of the SE, one of the budget-priced Paul Reed Smiths. They're every bit as professional. They're just made overseas, but they pass through the PRS quality check, so that they were quite spectacular, and Tim was happy to talk with us about it. We saw a Martin guitar, and this was sort of a combination of a celebrity because we had C.F. Martin IV. Chris Martin himself was demonstrating a guitar that's it could best be described as, I don't know how to say it, it's a J45. I mean, everybody has taken the Dreadnought style from Martin, so it's time for them to take something, but they have designed a guitar that looks like a Gibson J45, but it is a Martin, and it is wholly created, and it was just a lovely guitar. I predict big things for them for that. Stopped by the Dunlop booth, and they have a lot of new pedals, including a compressor for bass and a ring modulator. And then, not to be left out, Tech 21 always has something interesting, and they had a really nice Leslie simulator, a roto speaker effect that it's in stereo, and you can actually hear the horn going one way and the woofer going the other. It's quite spectacular. So with that, I will turn it over to our senior Scandinavian correspondent, Mats Nermark. Mats?
Thank you, John. Well, if you're tired of putting electrical tape and writing on it for your MIDI controller and not having enough instant access buttons, or finding it's hard to program because you have to step on all those stupid buttons, You can now get the Mastermind GT MIDI controller from RJM Music. It has a little display for each and every button. You can choose what you want to write there. You can choose 1 out of 7 colors for on, off, available or not, or whatever you want. You can configure it as you want to. And it's easy to configure because it has a touch screen on board. I think that is a first. And it will not be extremely expensive, but it will still cost you a bit. So that's good. You should check that out. Then I went by the Ultimate Ears booth. They are known for their molded in-ear monitors. Now they have a collaboration with Capitol Studios, so you get high-quality studio reference sound in your head, so to speak, with those molded ear things. Sounded wonderful. If I can talk my wife into that, I'll get them. Then finally, from Iconic Metal, I saw a very interesting guitar stand that when you lifted your guitar off, it turned into a perfectly level height stool to sit on to play your guitar, and it had an integrated footstool for classical guitar players. And that's it. See you tomorrow.